Vanessa. How are you today?
Hey, Human, I'm great. Thanks. And you?
I'm excellent. Thank you very much. Well, Vanessa, today we are having a chat about weather and climates and all the different types of weather that we can experience. But there's one thing I have always had a bit of trouble with, something I don't understand very well. What's the difference between weather and climate?
So weather refers to the day-to-day conditions. So what the weather is, what things are like on a particular day. So how hot or cold it is, if it's windy, if it's rainy or sunny. But climate refers to average weather conditions over a period of time and in a particular place.
So if I say, say I live on an island in the Mediterranean, I would say that the climate is hot and humid. Would that be correct?
Yes. So that's a general sort of description of what the weather is normally like, or the average weather.
Ah, now I understand. Thank you very much. But tell me, while we are talking about weather, what's the weather like where you are today?
Oh, Human, it's cloudy, it's freezing cold, and there's a bit of drizzle. So it's a bit miserable today. And what's your weather like today?
Today is not that bad. It's actually quite warm. It's quite a mild day. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. But I have to admit, the past 2 days, it was terrible. We had the coldest weather that I have ever experienced, with wind that went through you and it sliced through you like a knife through butter.
Wow. Oh, well, I'm glad it's a bit warmer today. So, Human, what type of climate do you prefer? If you could choose, where would you live with the perfect climate?
The perfect climate for me is where it's, because I like very hot summers and I like warm winters because I hate the cold. So I would choose an island, like I said, somewhere in the Mediterranean, with, where it's warm almost throughout the year.
Okay.
And what types of climates do you prefer?
Well, I actually like the cold weather. And I would love to live in a place where they have lots of snow in winter, because we never get snow in winter. So I would love to have that. Just something different, I suppose, to what I'm used to.
Well, rather you than me. We had our first snow this week and it was terribly cold, like I said. So let's have a look at some words we can use to describe the weather. So if it's very hot, what words can we use? We can use words like, can you say it's boiling hot?
Yes, definitely. That would apply to a desert. If you are in a desert, it's boiling hot.
Very true. And if the sun is shining, there's no wind, no clouds, I would say it's a nice and clear day, or a cloudless day and a windless day.
Yes, definitely. But if there is wind and there are clouds in the sky, we can say it's a cloudy and windy day. So
that's what it's like. So that's what it's like where you live today.
Yes, it is cloudy, although not very windy, not too windy, but cloudy. Yes. Now, Human, you've told me before that where you live, you get a lot of wind. Do you like the wind?
Oh, no, Vanessa. I really hate the wind. And we usually get wind during the winter times. And sometimes the wind is so strong that the windows rattle and it brings such a lot of dust, and because it's dry. Oh, no. I hate the wind. It makes me feel very uneasy. What's your favorite type of weather?
Well, like you, I also don't like the wind. I don't like it at all, and I don't like very hot weather. So, but I like sunny days when there's a cool breeze, and I love rainy days. And I love to see rainbows after the rain.
Oh, yes, me too. I have to admit, I do like rainy days, although I like hot weather as well. I do like rainy days, but there's one thing about rainy days that I really do like, and that is to see the rainbow. And did you know that the rainbow is formed when the sunlight shines on the droplets that you find after rain. And that's actually called a weather phenomenon. Do you know of any other strange or scary weather phenomena?
What about hail? So,
Oh, yes.
so hail is frozen water that falls from the sky during a storm. And it looks a little bit like snow, but it's much harder than snow. And it can cause a lot of damage. Where I live, we get a lot of hailstorms in summer. And we've sometimes had them sort of as big as tennis balls. And once we had a hailstorm and most of the windows in our house were smashed by hail. So
wow, that really sounds scary. I promise you, I would have hid under the bed because that is really, really scary. I've never experienced a hailstorm before.
Wow, no, we get them quite often, and yes, that time was scary. Because, you know, obviously with the glass breaking, we did have to hide behind things because all the windows were just shattering. So it wasn't nice.
I can really believe what you're saying, and
Yeah.
I would have been absolutely terrified.
Yeah. So now there's a hailstorm. You also get snowstorms. What other types of storms are there?
Oh, I've seen a lightning storm. And that is absolutely beautiful to see when it's over the sea. With that, it comes a lot of heavy rain, and then the lightning bolts, the lights that you see, and they jump around in the sky, but you also have thunder, that loud rattling noise. And this can look beautiful, but I think it's quite dangerous. This is one of the most dangerous types of storms that you can experience.
Yeah.
Are you scared of storms?
Not really, besides the time with the hail, but you know, if I'm inside in my house, I feel safe. But we did once have thunder that was so loud and intense, it actually shattered one of our lights. So that was a bit scary as well. What about you? Do storms scare you?
In a certain way, it does. But it can scare me more. Something that scares me more is heavy rain, which can cause floods.
Mm.
We had a huge storm once, and it rained so much in such a short time that the river that was close by our house, it actually burst its banks. And the water just came up and up and up, right up to our front door.
Oh, and did it come inside the house?
Luckily, it didn't. It subsided, but it was really scary, and I really didn't enjoy that storm at all.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm glad I've never been in that situation.
So it seems like floods can cause a lot of damage.
Definitely. So I actually love the rain, as long as it's not too heavy that can cause a flood. And where I live, it gets so hot in summer, and then we often have afternoon showers. So it just rains for a short time, cools everything down, and then often the sun comes out again and everything smells so fresh.
Oh, yes, it does. I have to agree. I love that smell of the rain on the dirt, and it's a very typical smell.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. And I have to say, I love the sound of soft rain. When it just drizzles, that soft rain that actually keeps on for days on end. The only problem with that is if you have to do washing, it doesn't dry.
No.
And everything just stays damp.
Yes.
And that I don't like.
No,
but
I agree
there's
with
one
you.
thing that I have to see, and that what I love to see is the dew on flowers and grass in the morning.
Ah, yes.
And the dew, those small, they look like pieces of silver droplets on the leaves, and those form when the temperatures drop at night and it comes into contact with a air, and that changes into liquid form, and those droplets on the leaves, and they shine and they break the light. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, you're full of interesting facts today, Human. I also like it when it's misty. So when you go outside and there's a haze over everything, mist is almost like it's almost like a drizzle, but even lighter. And the water sort of just hangs. The little water droplets just hang in the air, and it's very quiet. I like that.
Yeah, I have to agree. I do too. But I've just thought of another strange weather phenomenon. It's called whirlwinds. Have you ever seen a whirlwind before?
Yes, actually I have. I have seen, not very often, but I have seen a whirlwind. But you see them often in those old Western movies where there's just dust and you see this little column of air or dust spinning around. So yeah, have you ever seen one?
Yes, I have. And I've also experienced one. I've been in the middle of one. It feels like something is wrapping around you and it's going around you and then poof, it's gone. But it's amazing to watch, and it was quite an experience.
And are they dangerous?
No, they're not dangerous at all.
Okay.
It's just interesting and nice to see.
Okay. So now, Human, when you get up in the morning, do you like to know what the weather's going to be like for the day so you can decide how to dress, or do you just take your chances and wear whatever?
I'm a control freak. So I check the weather in the evening before I go to bed, and I check the weather forecast, and I listen to the weather forecast in the morning over the radio. So I know exactly how to dress.
But now, do you trust the weather forecast? Because sometimes they say it's going to be a beautiful sunny day, so you get dressed in your shorts and your t-shirts, and then you go out and it pours with rain and you get soaking wet and freezing cold.
Yes, it's happened to me quite a few times, because unfortunately it's hard to predict the weather 100% accurately. Even the scientists, with all the technology, they can get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, we are talking about weather, and for me, weather goes with food. Are there certain foods that you like to eat in particular types of weather?
Yes, so in summer when it's very hot, I don't like heavy foods. I like light foods like salads. What about you? What do you like eating when it's hot?
You can give me an ice cream anytime.
Oh, yes.
I love, and ice cream is like food. So I love having ice creams. When it's colder, when it's raining, I love a warm soup. That warms me up nicely. Especially on a rainy day, maybe a nice warm curry.
Ah, yes, I love a good curry. And what sort of things do you like doing in different types of weather?
My favorite time, when it's hot and sunny, I like to get out of the house, onto my mountain bike, into the mountains, or I love going to the beach for a swim.
Oh, nice.
And when it's cold and rainy, snuggle up with a warm blanket, watch movies, or read a good book.
Oh, I love doing that too. And then my cats come and sit with me as well and keep me warm.
Absolutely, they are like warm water bottles. But Vanessa, tell me, have you experienced strange weather conditions?
Yes, so once years ago when I was still at school, so where we live, we never get snow. Even in the coldest of winters, we very rarely get snow. But on this particular day, it was summer. We went to school in the morning. It was sunny, it was warm. And as the day wore on, it just got colder and colder and darker and darker. And then it started snowing, but it was heavy snow. It wasn't just light snow. It covered the whole city and it brought the whole city to a standstill.
Oh my word.
And so it was really strange because it wasn't even in winter. It happened in summer. So it was just very strange weather. What about you?
That was a phenomenon.
Yes.
Because it's something that never happens.
No. Have you ever experienced strange weather?
Yes, I have. I love to go horse riding in the mountains. And once I was on a trip, and it started, it wasn't looking like snowy weather that day. So we didn't expect any snow. But as we went riding, we got caught in a blizzard, a snow blizzard, and we had to hide for a whole day. It was terrible.
So where did you hide?
There was a little overhang from the rocks, and we could hide there. We were only a few people with only 2 or 3 horses, and we could get a little fire going. So we sat around the fire and just waited for the blizzard to pass, and then we could get onto the horses and go back to where we stayed.
Oh, wow. That must have been scary.
It was. It really was. But we've both mentioned that we get some scary weather. But it's not just that it scares you. Does the weather affect your mood in any way?
Definitely. So windy weather, I hate it. It makes me very grumpy. And as you said earlier, uneasy. That was a very good word that you used, that it sort of makes you a bit anxious, or I don't like the wind. And if it's too hot, I also get grumpy and I get tired. But rainy weather makes me happy. What about you? Does it affect your mood, the weather?
Definitely it does. I can relate so well with what you've just said. So I have to admit, sunny weather, that makes me happy. But I don't like the cold. So when it's cold, that puts me into a bad mood. The wind, that as well.
Okay, well, Human, you seem quite happy today, so it can't be too cold where you are.
Luckily, it's a nice day. Well, Vanessa, I think it's time for us to say goodbye for today.
Yes, Human. So thank you for chatting with me about weather. And now I'm off to make a warm soup because it's so cold here. So what are you going to eat today?
I think I am going to have an ice cream because it's just not too cold.
Okay, Human. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Find your English voice with IQ Global. Go to our website www.iqglobal.com to find out more.